Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War Unification Civil War cast this side of East Yorkshire. And today we've got two games for you. The first game being a 1 vs 1 on Blood River. Players the World Eaters, we've got Yazoo 55 and we've also got Vrax. So yep, this is going to be called a Civil War kind of cast, mainly because, it's traditionally called a mirror cast, isn't it? But Civil War just sounds a lot more fun and interesting. So yeah, World Eaters bonking on the World Eaters. It'll be who can smash each other in the face the hardest. And to be fair, actually, I do the World Eaters a disservice by saying it's as simple as going around and bashing people in the face. They've got 1,000,001 different build orders that they can go and concentrate on. They can go for demony stuff, they can go for long-range shooty bits with the Chiefs of Khorne and their regular old tactical marines. They go for a whole smorgasbord of chaff in the form of the Blood Pact Warriors. And really, it's going to be a case of what kind of champions and heroes they're going to be opening up with, which will be the main difference, I reckon, between Yazoo and Vrax here. Just seen Yazoo go for the Blood Pact Command Squad, whereas Vrax is going to go for the Dark Apostle. Dark Apostle has a reduction in the range damage he takes with his little squiggly friends that he brings along to the table, whereas the Blood Pact Command Squad is able to get a whole load of... in the early game, all the friends that he can bring with him are quite weak. What you go for Blood Pact Warriors or Blood Pact Troopers, so ranged or close combat orientated dudes. And then later on you can get assassins and bodyguards, which are much more efficient. But you could just get like 1,000,000. Well, not 1,000,000, quite literally, but effectively quite a large amount of lads to bring to bear. Seeing the Khorne Marines coming down the middle for Vrax. So it looks like he's going... Yeah, you're not going to go for chaff. You're going to go for the elite of the elite, the cream of the crop, so to speak. And yeah, that's going to be annoying because... normally when I'm playing casting a World Eaters game, if I get annoyed by the shouting, I can just swap over to the other side, but there's no case yet. It's going to be screaming and shouting every which way. The problem with these Altars of Khorne is that there's no defensive capacity on them apart from one singular huge explosion, which does do a lot of damage, but quite weak otherwise into the defensive capacity. Now we've got some Khorne Marines and the Blood Pact Command Squad coming down. And yeah, just look at that, 11 lads inside there. And coming down from the northern side, no retreat path for the Vraxian people here. Dark Disciples being shot at as these guys go a little bit wild and wet with anger and rage. Dark Apostle trying to chase after the Blood Pact Command Squad. And it's now impossible to tell who's on whose side. If I highlight everyone, the green circles tells us whose is Vrax and whose is Yazoo 55. We've got some more Khorne Marines coming out, but engaging in ranged combat at the moment. Dark Apostle just trying to chilling out in the centre. You're not sure what his whole vibe is. Oh, you're just in range stance. Fair enough. Look at him. He's taking barely any damage from all the Blood Pact troopers in the command squad. It does seem that Vrax is being outnumbered by the regular Khorne Marines. Big swipe from that Dark Apostle as they're now positioning themselves inside the negative cover, which might be a good idea for Blood Pact leader to try and get some shots off, but the Dark Apostle is not letting him do it at all. Engaging with the rage from everyone, just by the sheer amount of redness, but everyone's just losing the plot here. Dark Apostle still alive, still got his two friends here, although one is on the cusp of death. Not quite dying at the moment. Yazoo being pushed, Vrax being pushed all the way back to his base. These lads over yonder. Big explosion from that Altar of Khorne, although it does attack friend and foe as well. And not many of the Vrax side of things left on the battlefield at the moment. It does seem that the general staying power of the Blood... so the Dark Apostle into close combat, smashing up these Blood Pact troopers quite significantly, but they cost 15 blue to replace, and they are quite quick in the reinforcement. They're losing quite a significant amount from that huge Altar of Khorne explosion there, breaking the morale across the fighting forces of Yazoo 55, so will be pushed all the way back home, or at least until they can regain their forces. Current economies 68-0 compared to 74-10 for Yazoo. Although I don't think these guys really need to concentrate too much on the economy, as they get a huge boost in their everythings by engaging in close combat. Got Demon Hurst who's just fancying it, does a bit of an explosion, knocking everyone back. Another Altar of Corn, though this time out of range of these guys, so the vast majority of damage going towards Rex's side of things. Dark Apostle now tying up the regular Khorne Knight Marines. Now we're highlighting Yazoo's people in the green here. That's a significant amount of firepower. And I assume, I mean, you could just fall back and let these, oh, I suppose maybe, fall back. You allow them to focus on the Altar of Khorne. And at the moment, this one is Vrax's, that one is Yazoo 55, so losing it, but that's quite a quick recharge time on that Blood Explosion ability. Gonna go for another one as well. Look just at the sheer amount of damage on these lads. Almost getting a squad wipe with the exception of the Blood Pack leader. We're gonna come on over. It seems like both armies have now gone for the leader themselves. But a bloody game, no pun intended at all. It's just throwing the red stuff at everyone. Bit of the old cherryade to grease the wheels of war. Trying to get it's I don't know why I found that funny. It's just a case of, yes, come a little bit closer. Let me hit you with my red stuff. Demon Hurst, I assume, yeah, you teleported away. None of these guys have gone for the Techno side of things. You're able to tell that if the Demon Hurst has been swapped over to a Technomancer. At the moment, Vrax has got the heavy cover bonuses, so no point in fighting him on that side of things. We're now going to see a tier 2 from Yazoo. I was seeing a tier 2 from Vrax at the moment, not quite. So Yazoo might be able to get the tech advantage. You might be thinking, why has no one gone for Raptors? Well, I suppose in this kind of Civil War matchup, one goes for Raptors, the other one can easily counter them. And it's just a lot cheaper just to go for these more basic units, really. Dark Apostles lost all his friends, but will try and regain them. Just cost him some green money there. Only 5, so relatively cheap, but anything that costs green money in the early stages of the game is quite expensive. Everyone just you know, chilling out for a bit, minding their own business. Blood Pack Trooper, we saw him do a little ability to give everyone the red stuff to make him a bit more aggressive. And Storm Chamber's on the way, so there we go. Now we are seeing the Jump Troopers incoming. So you jump those in, fire support with these guys. Now, are you also going to go for some plasma guns? Oh, you haven't finished your tier 2 yet. Okay. Yeah, plasma guns would be the winning scenario here to take on the Khorne Knight Marines. Another huge explosion. Not quite doing the same level of damage as we saw before on those Blood Pack Troopers. Will also be good to see the troopers being replaced by bodyguards for the command squad as well. Yazoo thinking about going on the aggressive down the middle, but instead having to come back home to do some defensive stuff. Frag grenades been thrown from Vrax here. They don't quite have the necessary firepower. I would have really liked to see that Altar of Khorne saving that explosion for later. As can you imagine the amount of damage that they would have been able to bring out if everyone's so close by. I've seen some frag grenades from Yazoo. Khorne Raptors on the way. Surgery, bionics, and adrenaline. And there we go, replacing those troopers with bodyguards. But no plasma guns at the moment. Yeah, that range defense from that Dark Apostle really showing some good trades here. We even got the Demon Host engaging in close combat, just tie him up, but grenades now been thrown akimbo by everyone, also just exploding the Demon Host there. Raptors now coming on in. They'll be able to keep on top of this Blood Pack Trooper Commander Squad thingamadoodad. The numbers are falling. Blood is falling from the sky. That is the ability that they can bring forth from the Will of Khorne. That basically makes everyone do more damage. It's like that disco scene from that vampire film with, was it Denzel Washington? I can't quite remember. In years since I've seen it. Blade, that's what it's called. It's called Blade. I remember. I know the names of films. Not much of a superhero guy myself, to be honest, but then again, is Blade a superhero? Not really. And Vrax says GG. Oh, right. Oh, they must have been talking in voice chat or something. I don't think he would have preemptively said GG. Yeah, so what to say really, other than that the only major difference in the strategies there was the Dark Apostle coming in, providing those buffs, and just basically being a bit of a menace in close combat. But yeah, no, Vax able to punch Yazoo a little bit harder, and also getting some frag grenades and stuff, really. So yeah, so we'll move on to the next Civil War game. Alright, so the second game in the Civil War, we've got the Praetorian Guards on the south being played by Yazoo 55, and also the Praetorian Guard on the northern side played by Vrax. So these maybe have less options than the World Eaters in the early game. Essentially, they've kind of got two build paths that they can go for. They can either go for the Soldier's Mess, which I do believe both of them are doing, yes they are, or they can go for the Orc Encampment Battleground Thingamadoodad. Soldier's Mess, you get the regular lads out, whereas the Orc Encampment Ground, well, you get the Orcs out. And the Orcs have got access to things like big shooters, which actually, in this matchup, would have been quite amazing to see, as they can rip their way through the irregulars fairly quickly. The Soldier's Mess, you get out your Lieutenant Colonel, who's able to provide some buffs. He can basically cast like a guide and a short buff, which increases the movement speed of your lads. And the regulars are able to fire quite considerable amounts of damage if they're able to stand still. They're very much, you've got to, kind of like Fire Warriors, you've got to stand still for a little bit and do some shooting. But in comparison to other Imperial Guard infantry, they do a fair whack in the old range department. We're just capturing the nearest and dearest, the furthest and farthest, some might say. Lieutenant Colonel pops out. There's not much action. But we actually get to have a look at the models for a change. Look at him with his prime brisk hat on, or what they call the pith helmet. Powerful shoulders on those jackets. Well, do love a jacket with a pair of shoulders, mate. And no major kind of crazy builds going on for these guys. It is basically just not so much like in the World Eaters game where there was a slight difference in the opening. There is... Oh no, you've gone for an Orc bunker, so I assume you're then going for... No, right, so no Orcs. So I suppose you're just using that as a turret rather than actually going to plan to pop people in. As regular Praetorian infantry cannot jump inside the Orc bunker. It has to be an Orc unit. Lieutenant Colonel going solo. Moving around the... Or shall I say, shooting between the trees. The irregulars kind of acting as the conscripts for the Praetorians. They'll do a lot of damage, but one build order that you see quite a lot is you go Orc encampments, get the big shooters on them to do the damage, and then the irregulars equip themselves with grenade launchers, which then provide a bit of crowd control. You're shooting people down, although still taking actually a fair bit of damage from the irregulars, and now also look at the range on those regular squads as well. Here comes the opposing Lieutenant Colonel. And it's going to be difficult because are your colour schemes the same? You're white and grey and stuff. And you're... I suppose you're the same colour scheme, aren't you? Yeah, white and grey. Cool, nice one. Another fun time where everything's hard to cast. So see what I mean? So he's cast his guide, and he's also done a little bit of a speed thing on these lads as well. But that Orc bunker blasting one guy straight in the chest. That's not a happy time or situation for him. A regular on a regular action. Who said that the Welsh can't fight themselves? They've managed to get it. Now they're going to fight back. This dude that... Not quite... Ah, there we go. Getting involved. Just kind of just standing there, minding his own business, really. Morale being broken. And it's just like a Magic Carp versus a Magic Carp fight, really. It's no one's winning anytime soon. Just flopping around with their Martini rifles. Regular section. Just confirming the definite win there. Do now have the regulars of Yazoo shimming and shaking over on the left-hand side. Regimental statue has no defensive capacity apart from bringing down big explosions, which is a bit of a pain, bit of a nuisance, but if you can get the actual hits on, that's pretty, you know, does a lot of damage. More fighting over the critical locations in the central points. And I'm running on the assumption that these guys are not going to be committing too much in the early game. Tier 2 and Tier 3 is where the Praetorian Guard really begin to shine. Griffin mortars in Tier 2 for lots of AoE artillery damage. But the all-important tank ace of the Vanquisher and the... Vanquisher and Eliminator, they've got different names, different functions. Bit of a firefight. Activating Lieutenant Colonel's ability on the squad that has the broken morale. Probably not the best idea. Firmly losing that engagement there.
Good work, good.
As everyone's replacing their dead and dying. Yazoo kind of forgetting to get his relic over here. Which is not the best situation for him. But we do have him defending himself with AUG bunkers. I'm not sure how familiar Yazoo is with the Praetorian Guard. I haven't seen him play them before. But defending on this side and this side, I mean, nothing in Tier 1 is going to get by from the Praetorian roster anyway. All their units are quite squishy. Unless, of course, you go for the Orcs and they bring out their big shooters and they outrange them. But the range on this AUG bunker is actually quite substantial, so I don't think you can outrange it. Just chilling out, minding their own business. Tier 2 has finished for Vrex. Current economy is 86 and 20 compared to 86 and 20. Ooh, even Stevens. And Tier 2 on the way, so Vrex have a slight economic advantage. Stiff upper lip for more health and stuff. And we've got the Bugler, who is a chap with a fantastic little array of stuff on him. Got a little Vox thing on his face. He's got a box as well on his, I don't know, I think the Americans call it a fanny pack, or we call it a bum bag in England because, you know, words mean different things. That'd be quite funny if you called it that in the UK. And he does like a stun, slows people down. Also inspires the men. The Praetorians have quite a large roster of heroes that they can add to their units. Comes a Hermes pattern sentinel. Grenade launchers on the regulars and irregulars. Going for a decap on that critical location in the centre. We do have critical location countdown victories on, so that will be a factor. Bugler just charging off on his own. He needs no assistance. He's going to play his own song. Comes a Valkyrie squad, or Valkyrie fire thing, breaking the morale of everyone. Some trumpets to slow these guys down. Lieutenant Colonel activating that go faster ability, but that does not cancel out the slow from the Bugler, actually. That's a bit of a pain. Just to cast that ability, you've got to stand still for a little bit. We're now going to see if he can do some stuff. Got the auto cannon on the Hermes pattern sentinel. So he should be able to tank the damage from the AUG bunker, maybe take it down a little bit. What's Yazoo going to do? He's going to go for a vehicle fort, and I assume they're also probably going to go for the sentinel as well. Because that'll be the main counter for them. AUG bunker. Not exactly the tankiest of bunkers. I think the Death Corps Krieger's got a little bit more armour and health on it. Going to go for a flanking manoeuvre as they were focusing on the bunker, but not quite going to do much with that Hermes pattern in the middle, but it is quite low on health at the moment. Like all Sentinels, it's not known for its longevity in combat. At the moment, Yazoo doesn't exactly have a large surplus in money. Well, lots of people screaming in my ear, good lord. No need for this. Bombardment's coming in, but not quite getting anyone. Seeing a distant, or hearing a distant singing from the Bugler somewhere. There's a regimental statue. It's brought down low. Oh, that's where you are, Bugler. I like this though. He's normally you'd stick him in a squad, but he's actually been used to charge forth and be a bit of a pain. I mean, he dies. That's the one risk. I mean, the heroes for the Praetorian Guard, much like all Imperial Guard factions, are quite... Actually, no, that's a lie, because when you think about it, like, priests tend to live quite a while, don't they? So maybe not all. I've got the anti-tank team, which are less green money reliant, I do believe, and going for a Chimera. So maybe just stick the anti-tank teams in the Chimera, shimmy and shake them around, take down Sentinels and buildings alike. So now they've taken the Hermes pattern Sentinel out. We're going to focus on the irregulars. Got the plasma pistol upgrade on the sergeants as well. Anti-tank teams armed with a smorgasbord of missile launchers and las cannons by the looks of things. I assume that's aesthetics rather than changes in damage. We're going to see a Praetorian mortar in place as well as not bunker, so hunkering down his old Rex. Blasts and stuff happening across everything. Huge explosions from the regimental statue, breaking morale, but not going to stop the Chimera or the anti-tank teams. Fire and Fury towards it as...
Come on, lads, you're better than this. You're part of our Midlander.
Oh, for a second I thought the convicts were going to come over and repair it, but no, they are focusing on building up the bunkers and the mortar in place. But doesn't seem to be firing there. It's kind of just sitting there for a little bit. Not sure whether that's... Oh, right, oh no, it's there we go. Stands around. It was just getting online, really. The convicts are dead. Great shame for them. I mean, bringing out quite a lot of firepower, actually. Those twin-linked heavy bolters, so actually, on a frontal assault, it's getting the hits in. Bunker is down. Attempting to bring out a vulture gunship, which, I mean, I think you come out with a las cannon of some description. Huge explosion from that mortar emplacement. Chimera is down. But Vrax lacking the manpower to potentially hold things out. Thankfully that mortar emplacement is getting the God Emperor's work done. Huge AoE damage. So vulture gunship just flies on over. Right, okay, so you don't have any las cannons and stuff. You do have double auto cannons, question mark. So able to turn their attention to infantry, heavy infantry and lightly armed vehicles, no doubt. Rebuilding that regimental statue. And the anti-tank team don't exactly seem to be doing incredible amounts of damage as a vulture gunship focus fires them down. Lieutenant trying to keep the men inspired, but then dying himself. Here comes a Griffin. Can you fire at aircraft? I don't think you can. So no actual counter for the gunship at the moment. I don't think... No, his gun just doesn't quite go high enough. That might be big for par. Tier 3 on the way. And is Tier 3 coming for you, Mr. Vrax? Oh, you're already in Tier 3. You've got your tank commander out. On the way at the very least. The vulture gunship just flying over with impunity. No one able to rustle his jimmies. We're seeing a Gatling gun team. So what, are you just planning to get something anti-aircraft in Tier 3, Mr. Yazoo? I assume that is the case. Oh, Bunker is still alive. That is just a lot of mortar coming in. Yep, that'll do it. Outranging the Orc Bunker. That's just incredible amount of damage going on there. The bugler back out. Regimental statue. It's like the Somme, really, just throwing as much ordnance as possible. Hopes that kills the enemy before you're able to get over there yourself. And so, yeah, so Vrax managed to do some damage over here. And then once was pushed back, now move over on the right-hand side to do exactly the same. Gatling gun trying to keep safe of this natural cover, but, I mean, the mortars will just seem, and that is just an incredible amount of range for them. So infantry needs to jump in some chimeras and move over. Engage them in close combat or something. We've got a mortar team for Yazoo 55. And the Griffin, in theory, should be able to... I mean, it won't outrange them, but it'll out-DPS them in theory. Just needs to get close to them. And you've got this blooming vulture gunship. Also got the tank commander coming down left-hand side. Plasma guns and all that stuff. And Yazoo 55 says, no, thank you. You've got the vulture gunship, you've got your mortars, you've got your big tank. And I don't quite have anything to counter all that stuff. So double wins for Vrax here today. And yeah, I mean, it was just a case of just taking out-teching, really. The Praetorian Guard, like I say, in Tier 1, ain't nothing really all that special. So you really kind of want to get out into those Tier 2s and get the bigger and better stuff. Hermes Pattern Sentinel, able to wiggle its way in and do a little bit of damage. And from there, Vrax was able to expand on the gains he got. Yeah, okay, Yazoo 55 was able to punch his way over. But then again, I mean, that mortar emplacement, quite a powerful little turret-esque kind of building going on there. Able to hold the line and all that jazz. So yeah, so cheers Vrax for sending those games into the Discord. And if you want to support the channel, have a look at the old Patreon. £1 a month gets you once a game a week. And there is also Discord, where Discord things happen. Linked in the description as always. As for Mr. Landshark, pleasure's always never short. Now, see you in a bit. Peace.